These two photographs have something interesting in common. Clearly something's not right. You don't see an entire house floating in the ocean every day, and this vessel is definitely not in ship shape. Can you guess what their connection is? Both of these photographs were taken in the aftermath of the 9.0 earthquake and resulting tsunami in Japan in 2011. The first shot of the house was taken from a helicopter several days after the quake, many miles off the coast of Sendai. The second shot of the ship is of a 200-foot crewless shrimper called the Rio Unmaru. And like the house, it was swept out to sea in the tsunami. Unlike the house, this second photograph was taken 13 months later off the coast of Alaska. So how does an abandoned ship swept out to sea in Japan without a crew, without power, end up offshore an entirely different continent? And the answer is one day at a time. The Rio Umaru was just left to its own devices to literally go with the flow. It was traveling at less than 1 mile per hour. But even at that paltry speed, with no clear direction, it ended up in Alaska in just 1 year. That is drift. And drift doesn't just happen to abandoned ships, it can also happen to our ethics. So think how quickly a year goes by. If we're not careful, our ethical frame of reference slowly shifts through environmental or cultural influences, maybe through a continued process of neglect. And the dangerous thing about drift is that it's insidious. Right? It happens without our conscious awareness because it's so gradual, it's so incremental. So there's a pretty good antidote to moral drift, and it's an anchor, right? You need something to hold you firmly in place. Now, it's easy to have your ethical frame of reference when the seas are calm. It's a little bit tougher in those choppy, rough waters when the seas are high. In high stakes situations where a lot's on the line and maybe emotions are running hot. And that's where having that ethical core, that frame of reference, that anchor, if you will, is invaluable.